Let's dive right in. I'm excited about every community feature, and this week is certainly no exception. Luminous Lab was founded in 2016 by Dr. Verena Resch and is essentially a comprehensive assessment and service that helps scientists better understand not only how they can visualize their science technically, but also some of the importance and nuance of communicating that in different forms. We're going to scroll through the recently redesigned and absolutely stunning website, and then finally end up with the social media handles where you can follow Dr. Resch if you're interested. In terms of services, you can see this page outlines essentially all the basics, training for scientists, and services as well, including a broad range of things, everything from polishing proposals to actually understanding and generating scientific illustration. Again, with a rather extensive portfolio demonstrated below, and a considerable client base for reference. Dr. Resch herself has a very extensive scientific background in terms of primarily biochemistry and molecular biology, again, also complemented by a very nice series of courses in graphic design. But really, where I like to focus, or rather where I would like to focus for this feature, is on the workshops and online courses that she provides. So if you are interested or part of an institute, Dr. Resch really is someone that you can actually interact with and book for workshops, perhaps for your institution. And I really cannot stress enough that I think this is one of the primary examples I've seen of how design can really improve the communication of work. And in the future, I'd like to maybe do other community features that echo that as well. But this page and many of the services that she provides really reflect how this is something that scientists need to give more consideration to and provides an excellent resource for doing so. In terms of the online workshops, there's an extensive background of working with Blender for 3D rendering, primarily with proteins and molecules. But there's also very specific subjects, and you can see these are long and comprehensive courses. As someone who makes quite a lot of tutorials myself, I can say that generating courses is an entirely different beast, and I've done it in the past a little bit, but it can be very extensive. So the fact that these are all outlined here and something that you can actually pursue, I would consider this to be a worthwhile endeavor if this is something that you think is going to really add to your work. And given how impressive many of these are, I would say there's a high chance that they will. If you are a chemist, you're covered quite well, and if you're a biochemist, you're covered, I would say, even better. So many of these things go into depth about actually using some of the technical software as well, and that's a nice little port to have. So if you have some familiarity with some of these aspects, and you're just looking for a way to stylize it and dress it up a little bit, but then possibly also to augment your work and really set it apart, either in terms of your figures or your covers or just, the presentation in general, I think this is a great place to come, and it's a resource that I would personally be considering if I was starting out in this area. Finally, just to round it off, you can follow Dr. Resch on Twitter at Luminous Lab. You can also find her on Instagram, where she showcases, again, her very impressive portfolio. And last but not least, you can find her page on YouTube. Now, there are not too many videos here. This one in ChemDraw to Blender is actually a little bit old. I believe it uses Blender 2.79, but this video is a nice quick demonstration of how you can use many of these assets to create really impactful and beautiful work. And that is something that I think comes across when you actually are presented with it. And for a lot of scientists, that first time experience of seeing, wow, this is what my work could look like, that is something that drives better presentation. And this is a fantastic example. So if you are interested, I strongly encourage you to go check out Luminous Lab and maybe consider where this service could improve your work or could fit into your workflow or at your institution. So with that, thanks for coming out. Thank you to Dr. Resch and Luminous Lab for their contribution to the Blender scientific community. And as always, you have yourselves a great old day.